In the heart of a brutal winter, on towering cliffs rising hundreds of meters above the ground,
one of nature's most extraordinary hunters still survives. The Peregrine Falcon, famous for its breathtaking hunting dives,
reaching speeds of over 300 kilometers per hour.
On a snow-covered ledge, a pair of peregrine falcons has returned to their familiar territory for the breeding season. Together they begin shaping a shallow scrape in the rock, simple but secure enough to start a new life cycle. Winter is a merciless test. Food becomes scarce, freezing winds grow stronger, and every hunting trip costs precious energy. Yet it is precisely in these harsh conditions that the strongest instincts for survival are revealed. Not long after, pale cream-colored eggs appear in the rocky hollow, speckled with reddish-brown markings. The female takes on most of the incubation, using the warmth of her body to protect the fragile life developing inside. Meanwhile, the male becomes the sole provider for the entire family. Day after day, he embarks on endless hunting journeys. From the edge of the cliff, the peregrine stands motionless, observing. In an instant, the male launches from the cliff. Below, the flock erupts into chaos, scattering in every direction. Not every hunt is successful. In the wild, failure is common, but persistence is what separates survival from defeat. Day after day, inside the nest, the eggs begin to tremble.
Tiny beaks push from within, breaking through the first barrier of life. The chicks are completely dependent on their parents.
They cannot regulate their body temperature, cannot hunt, and can barely lift their heads for long. The female carefully tears
while the male continues his endless hunts. The pressure intensifies. Each day the chicks stretch their necks higher. Their cries grow louder and more frequent. Hundreds of meters above the frozen landscape, the feathered falcon, his razor-sharp eyes scan every movement below him. A wild duck glides peacefully. In an instant, the falcon folds his wings and drops like a living bullet. Boom! Water and ice explode into the air. The perfectly timed strike leaves the duck disoriented.
Without giving its prey a chance to fight back, the falcon drives in his deadly talons and beats his powerful wings,
lifting the prize from the freezing water. Even though the duck weighs nearly as much as he does, he carries it home with determination. In an instant, the falcon folds his wings and drops like a living bullet. High above, the falcon has already locked onto his target. He tilts his wings and dives. The hare darts left, the falcon instantly adjusts. Then comes the strike. Snow erupts in every direction. The hare struggles desperately. The falcon lifts it into the air before releasing it to deliver the final blow, reclaiming his hard-earned catch. Once again, the hunt is over. But the true challenge for the master of the skies arrives in mid-air. With an icy stare, he fixes his gaze on a flock of pigeons feeding below. He tears through the flock with astonishing precision. Panic erupts. The pigeons scatter in every direction. One bird breaks formation. That's all the falcon needs. He stays close behind. Then comes the decisive hit high above the ground. Feathers drift through the cold wind. The surviving pigeons vanish in terror, while the falcon begins the journey back to the nest, carrying another meal for his growing family. But nature has never been kind. While both parents are away, a hungry red fox discovers the nest perched on the icy cliffside. Its claws grip tightly against the frozen rock. The two chicks huddle together, their frightened cries echoing across the mountainside. From above, the father appears like a bolt of lightning. A devastating dive slams into the fox's back. Attack after attack rains down. Razor-sharp talons slash through the air. Snow explodes along the edge of the cliff. The fox snarls and fights back, but it cannot withstand the relentless fury of two parents, willing to risk everything for their young. At last, peace returns to the small nest suspended high on the mountainside. Time passes, the small white bundles begin to change. Pin feathers emerge, their legs grow stronger. Their eyes, now full of curiosity, begin to explore the vast world beyond the nest. Under the silent watch of their parents, their first lessons in freedom begin. For young falcons, leaving the cliff edge for the first time is never perfect. There is no graceful flight, only hesitation, imbalance, and instinctive correction. They stumble onto nearby ledges, regaining control before trying again. Every failure becomes a lesson. In the distance, the father continues his familiar hunts. Those high-speed dives not only sustain the family, they become a living blueprint for the next generation. The chicks watch every movement in the sky with intense focus. And one day, they will launch into that same open air themselves. Eventually, winter gives way to warmer light. On the ancient cliff, the Peregrine family looks out over the valley that has shaped and tested them for months. The young falcons are now strong enough to face the world beyond. The path ahead remains dangerous, but within their small bodies flows the blood of the sky's most elite hunters. The father takes flight once more. His silhouette shrinks against the winter sky as he disappears into the distance. One final dive cutting through the wind above the valley.
Life on the cliffs continues, just as it has for thousands of years.
Old generations teach the new, not with words, but through instinct, endurance, and survival itself. And in that cold and unforgiving world, a quiet story of love, responsibility, and